Hey everybody, what's going on? I am pleased to be bringing you a 1 vs 1 match on Incineration Zone. The players for the day are going to be myself, Wrapped as the red Terran here in the western side. I'm facing off against some young guy. Now you know some young guy from that other game on Kulas Ravine, where he was chock full of cuss words and aggression and just general anger. Some young guy is my brother, so let there be no doubt as to that. This is going to be, I wouldn't call it a grudge match, but certainly a lot of bragging rights are at stake right now. As far as league play, I think some young guy, I don't know, I can't tell you, I can't remember how far he got up the ladder, but he does have a lot of experience with the beta. He's kind of an achievement whore, so he's been working pretty hard to get the portraits and the achievements and whatnot, so he's got that dedication. I'm fairly excited to be casting this. As you can see, it's almost 40 minutes in game time. I am able actually to get a surround off on that probe to deny initial scouting. Some young guy is making a wall off here at this very tertiary choke. Not building here at his real ramp. He's instead trying to protect his natural expansion, so ideally the Terran player in this scenario, he would see that he's trying to wall off his natural expansion, and I should probably try to drop a bunker or something, but as you guys know, and certainly you can guess, I don't really like to play rush games. I'm more about the macro game in StarCraft 2, so with that in mind, I'm probably going to be hesitant to move out and try anything too rash. Really right now, I'm just going to have to settle for putting some pressure on this pylon. Not going to be too much of an issue for some young guy, however. Not helping his case that he has 100 Nexus energy. It could be argued that he's saving it for the gateways, but you can still use 25 of that energy on your probes, just in order to not allow that energy to cap. Also made his first assimilator, not transferring any probes to that just yet, making this pylon here on this high ground to survey his natural mineral patch. I have the supply depot here watching my back door, watching my destructible rocks. My first marine is out. I seem to be dropping a tech lab here, making a couple barracks and a tech lab right off the bat, so there is finally my orbital command going up. Decent build order here from Wrapped, operating off of 1 gas. Some young guy, he only has 1 probe here on this assimilator. You gotta question that. But at least now he's continuing to use those chrono boosts. You got 2 zealots here at this makeshift choke. It's actually not a bad SimCity, and certainly if he can pull this off and if he can deter any early attacks coming in from Wrapped, he will have this expansion very much safe for him. I seem to be working towards a dedicated infantry build. Not sure if I mentioned that. But my second add-on is going to be a reactor. My first Reaper is in play. Let's see what I can get done with him. In the past, hold on, sneeze brewing. I don't want this to to catch my mic, but alright, it faded. I was saying earlier that I have done some magical things with Reapers against Zealots. I mean, it's pretty easy to micro Reapers away from Zealots. Also, considering Reapers do bonus damage to light units, it can be pretty successful. But these Zealots are going to try to take down my front door. I actually had these Marines incorrectly rallied, so that is a shame. If some young guy is quick enough, he can slice up these Marines before they can retreat to safety, but he is deciding to pull away. He now has 4 Zealots. I have 2 Reapers now. One of them is DPSing the assimilator. That's not the right decision. Actually, this Reaper with 6 kills, his buddy with 5, so tons of probe kills. Certainly a very successful Reaper harass. Trying to micro this Reaper, he will survive long enough, and he's not going to get a second kill. But now this Stalker is able to come in and take out both those Reapers. Not before, however, I'm able to manage a lot of probe kills. But for some reason, while the Reapers were in my mineral line, some young guy had probably caught me with my supply depot down, so it looks like economic losses are going to be about equal for both players. I'm losing quite a few SCVs before these Zealots go down. You really don't want to have SCVs fighting Zealots. Now bringing over an SCV here to repair the supply depot, and that Zealot is going to be denied entry. So wow, very close, very symmetrical play from both players. Both players have lost a total of 800 resources here in the first 7.5 minutes of game time. I now have an additional Reaper here. I'm probably going to continue scouting with that. I mean, I figure as long as I have this tech lab, I might as well continue to produce Reapers in the early game. Warp gates are now up and running for some young guy. I've dropped a factory with a tech lab, so working towards siege tanks it looks like, which is not a terrible decision, especially considering that some young guy does have tech for stalkers. He's got a pretty small army count though. I could in theory move out with this small group of infantry on this one siege tank and take the game right now, but once again, as you guys know, it's very difficult for Wrapped to know when to move out, because I hesitate too often in my gameplay. And now that some young guy is able to warp in that additional stalker behind this choke here, my odds of being able to crash this front door are decreasing. This Reaper not seeing any expansion placed over there, control grouping these units here at my front door, and I do have my first siege tank out over this high ground, calling in some additional mules. This stalker is, 2 stalkers actually in position to deter against any further Reapers, so good defensive play here from some young guy. You have to wonder though, there's a Twilight Council, but you have to wonder when he wants to claim his natural expansion. He's got this choke here protecting him from any threats that would jeopardize that expansion, but he hasn't placed that nexus there quite yet. There's an engineering base, so it looks like I'm going to be once again following up with a dedicated infantry build. I could afford a second tank and I could afford siege tech, or I just spent all my minerals on something. Looks like, oh, I'm dropping a command center, which I assume to be lifting off. Also pumping some more SCVs. This Reaper has actually found quite a large hole in some young guy's base. Hopefully he can move in here and get some more probe kills. He can't stray too close to that stalker, however. Not focusing down that probe very well. There's 2 probe kills. So right now with those 3 probe kills, I would say that this Reaper harass has been successful. There's my command center. I don't have enough to upgrade it to a orbital command just yet. So yeah, with that in mind, choosing not to wait for that 150 minerals, just lifting that off right off the bat, without transforming it into an orbital command. Placing it here, not choosing to hide it, placing it just here at my natural location. And actually the timing for this could be a little concerning for me, as some young guy is rallying together a potential strike force.